Communication and social skills in the classroom environment. Background. Communication is the passing of information from one person, in this case known as the transmitter, to another person or person who is the recipient through a particular medium which could either be verbal, written, visual, or sign language. Therefore, communication skills are the ones needed to enable the proper transmission and reception of information from one person to another. Unless what is communicated is received and understood by the recipient, there is no communication. Social skills, on the other hand, are the skills that help in dealing with relating properly with the other members of society. These skills include skills such as networking, bonding, problem-solving, conflict-solving, leadership, and much more. Communication skills and social skills are an essential part of our daily life. We need to communicate to have tasks done and to pass and receive information. They also help people relate well to one another. They are useful in the survival of the community. Various contents of instruction ease the passing of information from the transmitter to the recipient. This includes things such as vocabulary and expressive communication. They help to ensure proper communication and endear an instructor to the listener. A good command of a language enables one to communicate appropriately. Each language has a distinct vocabulary that developed due to the unique characteristics that were prevailing in different areas and influenced the development of these languages. Before making any communication, it is important to consider the type of audience you are communicating to, because it determines the kind of vocabulary and the level of expression one is going to use among others. The domains of instruction include making communication clear and accurate, making use of questions and discussion techniques, involving the learners in the learning process, providing feedback to students, and demonstrating flexibility and responsiveness. To communicate clearly and precisely, the teacher should use directions and processes that are straightforward to the learners. The teacher should make use of the appropriate vocabulary. This means that the teacher should bear in mind the background of the students and their age. They should show great ability to enrich the lesson. When using question and discussion techniques, the teacher should use high-quality questions. They should also give their learners adequate time for them to formulate responses. The student should also be given some form of control to run discussions. Engaging students in learning is another crucial aspect that should be coupled with allowing students' experiences to come into action as they are mentally taught the goals of the lesson. It is also very important to give some feedback to the students. The feedback should be qualitative and consistent. The feedback should also be provided at the appropriate time. Lastly, by the teacher being flexible and responsive, they should be able to make smooth adjustments to lessons without interfering with the learning so students' interests can be accommodated sufficiently. Social skills are supposed to give rise to well-formulated people. Students with special needs can be enabled to blend well with the rest of society. They can establish lasting, rewarding relations with great and vibrant confidence. Although social skills may be learned during normal child development, learners with disabilities may require direct instruction and tutoring to be enabled to learn the skills. Such a category of students may entail students who have learning disabilities, those with pervasive development or autism spectrum disorders, and those with fetal alcohol spectrum and attention deficiency hyperactive disorders. Students who face the risk of school failure also require direct tutoring to develop social skills. There is a great need to include social skills in the curriculum so that students can be taught these skills while in school. This is because these skills are normally obtained during the learning process, which mostly occurs in the classroom. Language and social skill instruction in the natural environment. The natural environment includes the usual class environment. In such an environment, it is important that to effectively teach social skills, the teacher should first identify the skills they are going to teach. The second step will be to determine the method that will best meet the requirements of the student. The teacher should seek how to model the skill, create opportunities for students to rehearse the skills, and give feedback. Lastly, the teacher evaluates the skills the students have acquired. If the students are allowed to practice and use the skills daily, they end up internalizing the skills. The teacher can also use a proper arrangement of students in a class to provide for adequate student-to-student as well as teacher-student interactions for the proper development of social skills. The teacher should also ensure that the classroom schedules facilitate the learning and practicing of these social skills by the learners. The teacher can use a direct structured approach to give instructions to learners. This may include social skills exchanged in daily classroom learning through using teacher-student interaction as a basis for practicing the skills, reading children's stories, and other literature that may be helpful. Discussing a child's actions and their outcome and what the child should do if faced with a similar circumstance again. Language and social skills instruction for isolated and simulated situations. Isolated and simulated situations are normally created to produce conditions that are not naturally available for the training of the students but occur in life. This is done through the creation of mini plays to be done by children or the students. The plays are about various situations in real life. It can also be done through children's games. Learners may be isolated according to their individual needs or group needs. Learners with alcoholic tendencies can be isolated and kept in places where they can't access alcohol to help fight their addictions. Conclusion. Present-day society requires people to be able to deal with one another appropriately, thus the need for proper social skills. People with disabilities, especially children, need great assistance to acquire these special skills that are useful in their daily lives. There is a need to increase the number of teachers who can handle students with various disabilities and special needs. This will allow these students to develop social skills like their able counterparts. Proper planning is also significant as it ensures that all the necessary tasks are done properly and according to schedule. It is also worth noting that these skills can't be learned within a day. This calls for patience. The teachers or trainers should be very patient with their students if they hope to achieve something out of their efforts.